Now, take two on the river screen. Got the damn thing out the other day and pipe out, which was a challenge on its own, but anyway, it's out. Just dropped the last aluminium one off. Full of water, thanks to the holes in it. I've just replaced it with the Take Two poly ones. These ones are actually made to fit because Take Two, they actually listened to what I said dimension wise, so that actually fits. Also got those bungs put in so that if it is too buoyant, I can fill them with a little bit of water. That's the other ones over there to go in here, which will mean that I will be able to put the old brackets back on rather than just having a bit of strap, mild steel strap bolted around to try and hold them on for the time being. So also worked out why the screen actually wasn't going around towards the end of last season. Thought it could have possibly been because it was out of alignment, because it was sort of sitting on that angle, because these were much more buoyant than that, obviously being half full of water. But that was not the issue. The issue was that one of these backing plates that clamp onto the back side of the angle iron, which is what the jets hit to drive it. In fact, this one here had completely come off, popped the rivets because aluminium and water, especially any groundwater of any description, do not do well together. And it had popped the four rivets. That was down under there, jamming the screen from rotating. So what I shall do, or what I did yesterday or the other day, was ordered some stainless steel rivets, and I'll clean that up and re-rivet that back on with stainless steel ones. Now there's several others that have popped as well, so what I think I will end up doing is taking the entire cover off, the entire gauze mesh, whatever you want to call it, off, grind them all off, because there's another one. So whilst I've got it out, there's another one over there. As far as I'm concerned, it would be easier to do it now, get it over and done with, out of the way, cleaned up, and then I know it's going to be right for a good few years at least, as opposed to having another one fall off this summer and end up with the same situation. So I'll just replace these floats on here, and then we'll wait for that, for the rivets to turn up, and do that, and then we'll be able to put it back together. I might alter this positioning of this hose barb too. The hose that drives it comes over the top and it sits up there too tightly, so I'm not sure. I might be able to put a there's probably enough room. If I screw that out, I can probably put undo it all, screw maybe I could possibly do that, a barrel union onto it, and then put a 45 or a 90 or a couple of 90s on just to get it around the corner. Somehow it is a pretty stupid idea the way they've got that set to do that. But anyway, that's this current job. Isn't life so much better when people actually fucking listen to you? These things fit perfectly as opposed to those ones, which were made way too big, even though I gave him the measurements at the time. Thankfully he no longer works there, because not only that, but the dopey bastard can't weld properly. Because that one's got water in it. These two might not have, but that one certainly did. So, being that there's such a prick of a fucking bracket to get back on, when you've got to try and put the nut on there, if you're trying to do it with the things shoved in, because these fit so perfectly, what I've done is just preset the brackets on, just slide the pipe up through and then just do it up tight. Simple, can't be any simpler. Well, a many days later update. Got all the floats on quite happily, and set about replacing every single pot rivet on the mesh, because you have to clamp the angles to bits of flat at the back of on the inside. So that is what had popped off, and one of the backing plates was caught under and stopping the screen from actually spinning, so I had to wait for the rivets to turn up. They turned up, I picked them up yesterday after we concreted the shed, whilst they were waiting for it to dry enough to finish. So yes, you can see the rivets there, stainless steel rivets. So rather than just replacing the few that were popped, which would have done the job, I decided that whilst I had it out, it was the perfect opportunity to replace every single fucking one of them, and then that way I shouldn't have any problems going forward for a significant amount of time, hopefully. But it all spins beautifully now, and taking the long way around to put it back in after yesterday's rain, I thought it's easier just going down the road, so I'll just go for a nice little trip and hook it all back up. The other thing that I did, just did that this morning. You can see there, if it stops swinging, it's going to be a bit hard. That bit there normally screws into where the stainless fitting goes, so I'll put a bit of 6-inch, half-inch pipe in there with a barrel union and a couple of fittings, because the hose barb originally that screwed in to that end meant that the hose had to rest on top of the aluminium frame where the fitting is now sitting, and kind of squashed it out of shape all the time. So whilst I was at it, once again I decided that I would try and get that fitting over the top of the frame, and then that way the hose isn't being kinked over all the time with the heat and everything and all the rest of it. So we shall just go and drop this back in now.